I'm going to elaborate a little bit on what happens after the business has signed off their business requirements. So now you're in a project as a business analyst and a project manager, and you have approved business requirements. At each phase of the project, you need to be coming back. Treat your requirements traceability matrix, that thing that has all the documentation of what are the business requirements, the functional, non-functional, technical, user interface requirements, performance requirements, etc. And keep coming back to that. When the design team, usually let's say it's a vendor, if your vendor provides a design, what I always make vendors do is within each section of their functional design, show me out of 500, 1,000, 5,000, show me where and how all of the business requirements are being met in your design. And you treat that like the old-fashioned engineering walkthrough. For those who don't know project management in construction, when you go through an engineering walkthrough, the engineer shows you this is what was designed and this is what we built, and you look at it and it's physical and you tick it off, and you do that the whole build, and eventually they say therefore, because everything has been built, or if it's a progress payment because we've built 25% of the structure, blah blah blah, you owe us that money, right? So you do that with your vendor. So that's a way of safeguarding the solution design to make sure, hey, we're going to pay you for the design, but we have to make sure that it actually met with our business requirements. And then when the vendor goes out, and it's usually a black box sort of an exercise, or at least it used to be, we don't do that anymore because it's a fucked up way of making sure that your project fails, is the vendor goes into their little black box and then they're building. When they're building, I'll talk about what you as a business team should be doing, but when that build team is building the solution, they should be giving you regular playbacks to show you feature by feature, here's what we've done, here's how it meets the business requirement again. And then at the end of it, what you want to do is you want to prove through the course of however many showcases or playbacks that you've had, this is how the build meets the business requirement. In that time when the vendor was in their black box, you really should have been preparing for testing. And then what you want to do is all those business requirements you have, usually they're going to be broken up into area. So for example, if it's a customer service system, how you enter the data, how you engage with customers, how you log their queries, how you provide updates, etc. You want to make sure that all those requirements of a must have a customer ID number, must have a date, blah, 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 that's all going to form part of those test scenarios that you prepare, and eventually down to the test case and the test script level. And that's how you really make sure that through each phase of the project, the build, the test, and eventually through to deployment, and I didn't really talk about deployment, but that's how you make sure you protect your requirements. Good luck, enjoy.